everybody, this is Bobby with Bobby Stamps. I have another cute Valentine's Day card for you guys. This is kinda resembles another one of my cards that I did probably almost a year ago. It's using the same color combination and it's kinda out there. So you're either gonna like it or you're not, I think. So we'll go ahead and get started. The stamps that we're going to use is First Sight, and we're going to use the larger flower here. And then we're also going to use Blooming Love, and we're going to use that image, and then the Be Mine for the sentiment. And then we will also be using the Sweet and Sassy framelits, and we're going to use the larger heart and then the smaller heart that's in there. You'll have to just, if you want to replicate this card, you'll just have to stamp the image and then figure out which one's which, because I have no idea the sizes on them. So we're going to use, our card base is going to be So Saffron, and then I have a piece of Melon Mambo that is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. A piece of Pink Pirouette that is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. A piece of Whisper White that is cut 3 by 4 3/4. And then I just have a scrap piece of Whisper White to stamp the image on, and then we'll cut it out using that heart framelit. And then the same thing, we're just going to use this one as our background. And then I have two pieces in the Pink Pirouette. One is smaller than the other. The smaller one is our sentiment. These are cut at about a 1/2 inch by 2 inches for the sentiment. And then this one is a 1/2 inch by 4 3/4, I believe, to match the white one. And then we're going to use the basic pearl jewels just to kind of snazz it up a little bit. And we're going to use So Saffron ink, Melon Mambo, and Pink Pirouettes. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my stamping pad, and we will grab our piece of Whisper White, and we're going to use the Melon Mambo. And let me grab, I thought I had it out, but I don't. We're going to use the heart, the larger one in the stamp set, if I can get it peeled off there. Let me grab a block. Okay, and we're just going to ink that up in Melon Mambo, and then we're just going to stamp it on that piece of Whisper White scrap piece of paper that I have there. And I'm just going to close that up really quick and move this out of the way and this out of the way. We're going to bring in our big shot. Need to move my inks over here, I think, to get it to fit. There we go. Okay, so we'll just put the piece of Whisper, and we are going to end up cutting off a little bit around the edges, but that's fine. So we'll just lay that piece on there like that. And then we just need, the yellow piece is going to be our background. And we'll just load that up and get it going through there. Okay, and I'm going to move this out of the way. We'll just pop our pieces right out like that. And move this out of our way. Clean those up later. Bring in our mat again. Now what I'm going to do is stamp everything in the same colors. So like for our background, I'm just going to get all my So Saffron pieces that I need to stamp right now. And we'll go ahead and open up the So Saffron ink. Just going to grab that block again. Oops, I think I have the, let me see if I have the right block out. I'm not sure if I do. Yep, I think that one will work. Could use the bigger one, but I really don't want to have to get it out. Okay, so what we're going to do with this one, I'm going to turn it this way, I think. And then I'm going to lay that there. Then I'm going to use this piece of paper to just line it right there on my score line, so that way I don't go over the side. And I'm just going to stamp the So Saffron all over the front of the card. And I'm just turning it just a bit. Now I want to make sure that I get nice around my edges, because that's basically going to be all that you're going to see anyway. So we'll just leave it like that. I think that's good. And then we'll just go ahead and crease that really quick with our bone folder, like so. Move it out of the way. Then we're going to bring in our heart, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to layer that up with some nice background images, okay? We'll clean our stamp off, and then let's go with pink pirouettes. I'm trying to move from the lighter to the darker colors. So we'll just put that there. Make sure our stamp's nice and clean. And we're going to do the same thing with all these backgrounds. And I'm making sure that I turn my stamp every time I stamp, so I'm not getting the same, you know, I have a lot of direction going there. We'll move that out of the way. Now the pink pirouettes ones, the smaller one I chose not, that I'm going to put my sentiment on. I did not want to stamp on that because I wanted my sentiment to show through really good. So we'll just not stamp that one. Now you can choose to if you want to. I just chose not to. Okay, and I think that's all for the pink pirouette. And then the Melon Mambo. Do the same thing. We're just going to stamp Melon Mambo on Melon Mambo. Okay. Now, okay guys, it wouldn't be a video if I didn't forget to tell you something else that we're using, right? So in the Love Notes framelits, I forgot to pull this out, and this is like the biggest part of our card design today. We are going to use this die, and that's how we create our hearts here. So let's move everything back out of the way again. Bring in the Big Shot. Move these out of the way. And I need my piece of pink pirouette paper. And then you just basically put this right off to the side is what I did. I just lined my hearts up here to the edge of the paper. You don't want to go too far off because, you know, that it'll not cut your heart right then. Whoops. And we just want to make sure that you're getting it straight. Make sure it doesn't move. Whoop, like that. And so you could use the tape. Another way you can do it too is to line up this and that right at the top of your paper like I'm doing. But just make sure you have it in far enough that it's gonna... Okay, I am going to have to grab some tape, so hold on just a second. Okay, when that happens, this is what I do. So I'm going to reline everything back up. Make sure I have my hearts in far enough. I'm going to scooch that up just a bit. I'm just going to put a piece of tape there. And I'm going to go ahead and secure it at the bottom because I just want to make sure it stays straight and it doesn't move. I don't know why it's doing this because when I did my design card, it was fine. I had no issues whatsoever. Okay, and I'm just going to bring it back to me because I'm lazy and then I don't have to reach around to grab it. Take your tape up. The tape up. We'll peel that off. Okay, looks good. Move this back out of the way. Now I will show you when I did my design I hadn't stamped the little flourish all over, and so that's why it's not on the hearts. But as soon as I did it, I knew I wanted to put that on there. So you can just poke your finger from behind and fold them both up like so. I don't know if it would be easier to flip it over. There's kind of like a center line you can see right there, and that's all I did was just open mine up, kind of keeping with that center line for them to meet in the middle, like so. Okay, isn't that so pretty? Okay, so now, whoops, I just threw the heart away. Now we can start, oh, you know what, I did not stamp on the back of our piece of Whisper White, so let me grab that. I knew there was another piece when I was stamping that had to be stamped. I couldn't figure out what it was. I kept looking at my card. Okay, I'm just stamping it to make sure, even though I've cleaned it, a little bit of pink is coming off. Whoops. So I really want to make sure that I'm not getting any of that pink. Okay, that looks good. So what we'll do here is just the same thing. And on my design card, I stamped off to give it a lighter image. But I've decided on this one that I just want to go for it. So as you can see, there's a difference between the stamping off one and the full force one. Not sure if I got that on my hands. I hope I didn't. Okay, now we'll get this out of the way, and then we can start putting the card together. So we'll go ahead and put the Melon Mambo piece. Just put a little bit of snail on the back. Make sure I have it opening right. Just line that up like that. Now I'm going to use Tombow here because I want to slide this in under the hearts, and if the snail touches that, it's not going to be repositional. It's going to be stuck, and I want to make sure that if I make a mistake, I can quickly correct it. Okay. So we'll just take this, and like I said, I'm just going to slide it in. We're still going for center, so something like that right there looks really good. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab some dimensionals. I'm going to use about 3 for the heart that we stamped in Mint Macaron. And we're just going to layer it on top of the So Saffron. We can take our piece of pink pirouette, and we're just going to put it right there in the center in between the hearts. Grab some more dimensionals. Oops, that happened to me the last time. Peeled the backing off and left the dimensional on the pad. Okay, and then we'll just pop this right in the center like that. I'm going to go ahead and put some snail on here, and we could have done that first before we put the heart on there if you want to. It doesn't really matter. And again, we're going to just center everything up. Okay, and then let's grab our mat. And we'll grab the Melon Mambo and the Be Mine. And we're just going to center that like so. And I'm going to put that on a couple of dimensionals as well because I want it popped up just a bit. Get this mat out of the way. And then you can just put it down towards the bottom is where I chose to put it like that, okay? Then we're going to bring in our pearls. And I'm just going to use my snips. And I just put a pearl right in the center of each heart. And you can use the fine tip glue if you want to make sure that these stick down really well, especially if you're going to send them in the mail. That's what I normally do if I'm going to send them. These normally have pretty good adhesive on the back. So you can just go back through and push down on each one and then go back through and raise your heart up. You know, if you're mailing this card, it will be, you know, you might want to add a note to, you know, the recipient that they can bend the hearts back up. Because I'm sure they would get flattened in the mail. But you can see they're just popping right back up so nicely. Okay. Then I'm going to take and put one pearl there, and then one in this corner, and then I put one right there in that flower center. One here, and you could put more if you want to put more. I just wanted to do 3. I didn't want them to be like evened out, or you know, I like to work in 3s. That one may give me, oops, I don't think I might have gotten the backing on that one because it's not even. There we go. I heard that one pop up for sure. Whoop, and it's still stuck to my snips. Yeah, the other one was my fault. I didn't pick the backing up with it. So there you go, guys. This is kind of an out there Valentine's Day card. Kind of busy. Got a lot going on. If you like it, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Oop, I lost a pearl. Hit the thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And I might have to use a little bit of the fine tip glue pen to make that one stick. But there you go. Thanks for stopping by and watching, guys.